the path to power. The path neither Jedi nor Sith. May the Force be with you. May it make you strong.
I found a way to save you.
Save me.
From my nightmares.
Life never ceases to teach. It is only when one ceases to listen that we grow still. And die.
It is not possible to walk away from such things unscarred. To keep living when the universe dies around you.
When the last living thing in the universe finally dies, I will enjoy peace and wait for the cycle to begin again.
You will never possess that kind of power.
Do not mistake me for the fools who seek immortality out of blind ego.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Immortality comes at a terrible price. Do not forget that. Taste. Touch. Color. Emotion. I experience none of these things.
Everything has a cost. This is the price of immortality.
When you have lived centuries, you see that everything is a pattern that grows out of itself. Sometimes you can no longer see the trees, only the roots. It is the smallest part of the price of immortality.
You are more Mandalorian than you realize. Learn about the past. It will guide your future. Keep honor alive among my people. Show them that the old traditions, the code of the warrior, is worthy of defending. Unless you believe in something, you will become an empty shell or a rabid dog. In the end, all you have is your dignity.
Mandalorians, prepare for battle. Today we march, we bleed, exhaust ourselves, and die. Because our true destination will be a battle worth winning. Jesus Bandade, who's up for a Skarkla hunt? Dirty! Draw! Neutralsia! Try harder!
the true war, has never been one waged by droids or warships or soldiers. They are but crude matter, obstacles against which we test ourselves. The true war is waged in the hearts of all living things, against our own natures, light or dark. That is what shapes and binds this galaxy, not these creations of man. A culture's teachings, and most importantly the nature of its people, achieve definition in conflict.
We all have our heroes. And when we watch them fall, we die inside.
I can't do it, man. I can't kill my own father. Just help me save Padme's life. I can't live without her.
He is like my brother. I cannot do it.
You can stand to see the Imperial flag reign across the galaxy.
It's not a problem if you don't look up.
I feel it again. The call to the light.
Set straight fear in you, Skywalker. You have hate. You have anger. But you don't use them.
I thought to betray you, Father. I feel the good in you. The conflict.
There is no conflict.
We all wage war with the past, and it leaves its scars.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
In battle, the words are swept away, giving way to actions. Mercy, sacrifice, anger, fear. These are pure moments of expression.
I have failed you, Anakin. I have failed you.
Your father would have been proud of you, Jen.
Never. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
You were right about me. Tell your sister. You were right.
He feels no fear, no pain. The chill of death cannot cool his passion. The hero burns, eternal.
Okay, I need to lay down some foundations to the order I have started. First, it should be known that the founder of this order of exorcists has established this path of religion in a time when the Church has become incapable due to their own rules and laws prohibiting them from acting. So many of the foundations of this path of belief shall most likely defy many aspects of the other churches. With that said, first know that for reasons that occasionally make themselves clear, the founder of this order, who is the angel who fell from heaven because I defied my Maker's command, but the reason God has said to me as I fell was because the iniquity of man was in my heart, the ability to choose to sin, because my body was in a coma and not yet dead. But this contradicts my creation, as I was an angel created with the ability to choose what he believes is right. So it is in this quality that I am applying my ability to choose what is right and not to follow what I feel is wrong by defying the laws of the Church that have made them incapable of helping others. Those who are ministers under my order, I will strive to ensure they are made capable to choose to follow what their heart and insight says is right over what Church law mandates, what is and isn't true. For there is a great deception being orchestrated against men of the cloth and those who believe. I have been given an insight to heavenly matters and taken the creed of the apostles to spread the message of God's kingdom and his coming, a witness to his kingdom, but also a target by those seeking to defy his kingdom for their own desires of selfish greed. I have not come to speak about the Son, for none of us truly know what he said and did. None do, thanks to the Romans, and I have had little experience involving the Son. I have met him, but never got to know him as well as I know his Father, God himself. I have met and know in many different ways. It is what makes me capable of stepping forward to proclaim his kingdom and his coming and things about him as an apostle is said to do. I know his presence and have stood before him. I have not felt that presence in its entirety this whole time that I can remember until here recently, when I asked that he reveal himself to me before I could commit myself to this path I was being led down. It was then I was humbled before the presence of my Maker, who assured me that this was by his will, that Armageddon, and all that I was being led towards in preparation for it, the cup of iniquity, that is his wrath upon the wicked, that is called the Holy Grail, and all this was his plan to overcome the disbelief the world has adapted into their hearts, so that they shall not perish, and become lost in their own self-righteous indignation. He's nervous about this journey we're entering, and hopes that his angel has learned, since his time in heaven, and not to become lured into the temptations of others, as it did when the first angels fell. For he must rely on his free will and ability to choose what is right over what is wrong to get him through this challenge ahead of him. Only the true angel Lucifer can succeed in this test that will silence the doubts of all the churches and hosts in heaven. First up, we shall break down the process of choosing who will be given help by an exorcist, and I think establishing a choice of options based on severity of what we're dealing with should be set. If we're dealing with an actual adversary of heaven, then I think we shall then turn to the Stoic litanies that call upon Archangel Michael for help, and such. But if we're dealing with just a dark spirit who seeks to defy God and deny judgment by creating chaos, then we shall refer to praying for help from other hosts of heaven, and even saints that we see, who are said to have known strengths that defy the skills and methods being used by the dark spirit. Our goal should be to send them back to the place which God has sent them to await judgment, or, if they have been judged, send them back to the place they were sent for. They will not leave that place until they learn what they didn't in life. We should remind them that hell is not eternal, for there would be no justice in God's judgment if there was an eternal hell. That narrative was pressed by those who were led astray by their own fears and strengthened by religious conflicts at the time that relied on those fears. The purpose of our order is to protect people, whether sinners or saints, believers or not, against the spiritual forces that seek to use mankind to further their schemes. We seek to ensure mankind has true free will, absent of unseen influences that turn the tides of human affairs. Another aspect has to do with the ritual of the exorcism itself. It says that in the process, the exorcist takes the demon into himself, and the priest and the demon battle there. But I do not agree with this process, and feel as though, if this is the tradition as it has been passed down, then the ones who wrote this must have been influenced by spiritual forces and led astray.
If there was a way to bring him into the physical world, hear me out first. The demon's power is strongest where it dwells right. In the physical world, it would be subject to the laws of the physical world. It couldn't remain hidden, and, unseen. It couldn't travel between others and possess other hosts. Its power would be grounded to the laws of physics. Here in the physical world, the demon experiences God's direct wrath, the angel's immediate reaction, and the exorcist, and all who witness it, would be able to see clearly where the demon moves and what he's doing. Another thing I wish to speak on is the authority to which how it is decided if an exorcism is needed and when we should step in to help. We will not wait for the bishop and diocese to hold some meeting to decide whether or not we should proceed. This will be in the hands of the priest, but also so shall the repercussions if you happen to be wrong. Pretty much each priest will be responsible for his own actions. There will be no get-out-of-jail-free cards that I will be trying to absolve you of man's laws. So it should be understood to all who accept your help that demons will and usually rely on manipulating the aspects of authority around them when trapped, disarming the one who is possessed from being able to create uncontrollable chaos. Another aspect of our order has to do with abstinence. Though we will support the understanding of resisting temptation, true abstinence, we will not be an order of priests without a love life. Our order shall support love and unity, for God created us out of love. So I have come to understand in a matter of speaking. For those who seek to find a path to get closer to God, but do not know the way, I have written the first chapters of Genesis from a witness's account, as he has shown me. I also have the chapters of the creation of the angels that has been revealed to me, for our order to know them, by as well as the battle against the dragon in the first war against heaven by Satan. Though he is a danger to all who have faith, he is not our order's main focus or enemy. There are many dark spirits out there. Some do not even align with him, so to reach them, we must broaden our focus. I will tell you now that the demonology reference material from the Dark Ages is not valid against actual exorcism cases. That information was taken from false confessions under torment of random individuals by the Spanish Inquisition, so don't be fooled. However, there are many cliché imitations out there that obsessed over the material and then used it as an alias once they died. You will find a lot of that out there. So before completing the exorcism, take time to research your case with local information to make sure you don't have an imposter before calling in the big guns. I will not require you to be stoic, traditional, priests that follow the code of the priesthood. I only ask that you seek to know God, and if you don't know Him, then I have personal material you can build an understanding from. But remember, do not pray or place your faith in the God I speak about knowing. God reveals Himself to each person differently, so pray only to your belief in what God is, as He has led you to know Him by. Do not underestimate the potential and authority that this order gives you. When you put on the armor of God, immersing yourself with the presence of the Almighty that you will one day encounter, filling every thought and deed as though walking side by side with that presence leading and guiding you, then you basically are an archangel in mortal form with both the authority to work as a hand of the hosts of heaven and God's will, but unlike angels you also have the authority to take action and hand down God's judgment upon dark spirits who think they are beyond such things. So do not underestimate your authority as long as your heart remains true and your heart's intentions remain humble to His command and without malicious intent. Also remember that the works of man is fallible. Scripture can and has been written incorrectly before, so do not hold such material things as the highest truth. Hold what is revealed to you by the holy hosts and by God as a truth that cannot be questioned by you. For it is the truth you have been given to know. Also that no one can look upon the face of God, so no one can truly know the details of him. We only know what has been revealed to us to be true, and that is how he will know that it is us seeking his assistance. So hold that truth you are given as the highest truth, but only unto you. Because of this, we align with the church to which I am ordained through, that we press our beliefs and views on no one. They must be left to believe what they choose. It is to those forces we fight to free mankind from that we press our beliefs upon. To them, it is not our belief, but our authority that is commanded, and united with God, that is pressed upon them. I will not hide this. I hear talk of our order possibly becoming the angels of judgment if we live up to the Almighty's hopes, which is a very honorable position to be offered a chance for, as we will become the hands that change the world towards a better path. I am confident in this path and choice I take through social media. I have seen firsthand the difference my words have made across the world. So I know there are those who seek to stop the madness our world has become consumed by. This will not solve all the problems, but it will make a major dent in the chaos on unprecedented levels. I shall close this with a portion of prophecy that we are fulfilling. Let he who hath the wisdom I spoke of in understanding the key to Scripture, let he who hath wisdom know the truth in these words.
And at that hour, that Son of Man was named in the presence of the Lord of the spirits, and his name before the one to whom belongs the time before time. Yes, before the sun and the signs were created, before the stars of the heaven were made. His name was named before the Lord of the spirits. He shall be a staff to the righteous whereon to stay themselves, and not fall. And he shall be the light of the Gentiles, and the hope of those who are troubled of heart. All who dwell on earth shall fall down and worship before him, and will praise, and bless, and celebrate with song the Lord of the spirits. For this reason has he been chosen, and hidden before him, before the creation of the world, and forevermore. The wisdom of the Lord of the spirits has revealed him to the holy and righteous, for he has preserved the lot of the righteous, because they have hated and despised this world of unrighteousness, and have hated all its works and ways in the name of the Lord of the spirits. For in his name they are saved, and according to his good pleasure has it been in regard to their life. Book 1 of Enoch, Chapter 1, verse 48, Parable 2 through 10.
Deamos requisati Spiritus Sanctus Sancti Manus una da Padre, una da Christus, una da Spiritus Sanctus. Aec sanctifae sentiur et benedicantur a face altissimi, ne in rua ceteri qui transgrediuntur mali spiritus, liberi spiritus eorum in pace requiescant. Amen.
Our mission? Historical research. We are monitoring Earth communications to find out how our planet survived desperate problems in the year 2020. Maximum magnification. How do you read that?
Bernie was a minor official, notorious for his rigid and limited patterns of thought.
Here's the bad part. When you do testing to that extent, you're going to find more people, you're going to find more cases. So I said to my people, slow the testing down, please. I leave it up to the governors. Many of the governors are changing. They're more mask into. They like the concept of masks, but some of them don't agree. I do say this. Schools have to open. Young people have to go to school. And there's problems when you don't go to school, too. And there's going to be a funding problem because we're not going to fund, when they don't open their schools, we're not going to fund them. We're not going to give them money if they're not going to school. Religion will be gone, okay? Life, you could forget about that, the whole question of life. I would like you to speak to the medical doctors to see if there's any way that you can apply light and heat to cure. You know, if you could. And maybe you can, maybe you can't. Again, I say maybe you can, maybe you can't. I'm not a doctor. Look, it may work and it may not work. And I agree with the doctor, what he said. May work, may not work. I feel good about it. That's all it is, just a feeling. I'm a smart guy. I feel good about it.
Verbose, isn't he?
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
So somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it. It's the worst year they've had in a half a century. And that's because of me. And I'm not proud of that. But you know what? They want to negotiate. And Sleepy Joe doesn't have a clue.
Just can't resist the urge to play God.
Flames, we'll put out the flames, and we'll put out, in some cases, just burning embers. We also have burning embers. We have embers, and we do have flames. Florida became more flame-like, but it's going to be under control.
He seemed rather pleased with himself, as if he were
irrational.
You can check it out.
Could you please get me the mortality rate?
Yeah.
Kaylee's right here. I heard we had one of the lowest, maybe the lowest mortality rate anywhere in the world. Do you have the numbers, please? Because I heard we had the best mortality rate.
Could be some form of space madness we've never heard of.
Medical analysis indicates that Alexa mentally inferior. But
He'll be on the ground crying for Mommy. He'll say, Mommy, Mommy, please take me home.
their intellect ratings are almost 100% below average.
He may be drugged, hypnotized, or psychotic.
He is not sane. All that matters to them is their hate.
Something which does these things for him. His audience, his ego.
Is it ego? Or something else?
When people proudly had their Confederate flags, they're not talking about racism. They love their flag. It represents the South. They like the South. People right now like the South. I say it's freedom of many things. Frankly, it means when there's looting, people get shot and they die.
And heightens the emotion.
I, too, felt a brief surge of racial bigotry.
Disgusting is what I call them.
And we will make America great again. Thank you.
Computer, this is Captain James Kirk of the USS Enterprise. Destruct sequence 1, code 1, 1A.